Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Well, here we are. Welcome to Silver Sunday. I didn't hear anything for like the last minute.
Oh,
I could see the images, but the sound went off.
I can hear.
Well, I of course I left a little message and nobody answered it, but I was like, what the heck? I have a private message here, and I'm like, what the? But so I went and tuned in to YouTube and Twitch, and everything seems to be working fine. So must have been something here on my end. So. Regardless, here we are, and welcome to Silver Sunday on this January the 23rd. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good. All right. Good. Let's get some quick introductions, and we'll get to update on the Kickstarter. Shout out to our sponsor, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you have not made your plans for Daytona, I realize it's still several months away, but it's never too early to plan to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. So September 10th and 11th. Is it 10th, 11th, 11th, 12th? Saturday and Sunday. I don't have a calendar in front of me, so I'm not sure. I have to get that up onto the thing. Tom, if you're listening, I'll get that image and we'll get it up, so we'll have that. So yeah, it's always a big Silverline party. So make your plans and come there. Thanks to OCD for having me and John on this past Thursday. What else? Always love our Kablam pals.
Yeah.
Flag, flag today. Woo-hoo. Tommy.
Yeah.
Flag.
Hey, hi.
I shouldn't distract him when he's inking, should I?
I'm trying to.
Yeah. So,
But you going to tell people about the Kickstarter?
I
The one that we met in the middle of the night at the back of an IHOP parking lot.
So, hey, y'all start introductions. I got one out to show it, but I guess I didn't bring it in here. So y'all start introductions. I'll be right back.
Go for it, Curtis.
All right. I'm Curtis Fujita. I'm the creative director at Silverline Comics. I'm also a Kung Fu instructor and artist. So my upcoming comic book for Silverline is called Shadow Ghost. It's the Kung Fu comic by a Kung Fu master. That's me. I'm going to hand it off to Roberta. Roberta, feel free to go ahead.
Hi, I'm Roberta Conroy. I'm a colorist, originally from Malibu Comics back in the 90s, and I'm currently Silverline colorist for Cat and Mouse and Champion and Miss Fury Silverline team up. So that's where I'm at right now.
Very good. And Peter, why don't you go for it?
Oh, well, in that case, I'm just the penciler on Silverline Team Up Champion and Miss Fury. I pencil other stuff too, but you'll see that later.
There you go.
The Trump's issue 4.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
That we will get that I'll get to start inking here as soon as I can get these last 3 pages done of rejects. My name is Thomas Filarmonte. I've been inking comics since the early 90s. A lot of stuff with Roland and the gang with the earlier Silverline stuff, and then did a bunch of Ultraverse stuff, including Nightman and The Strangers and all that good stuff, which Roberta did a lot of coloring on over at Malibu. And I've inked for everybody, done some stuff for Marvel, a little bit for DC there and everywhere. But currently I am inking Mr. Pete on I'm currently inking Rejects, C. Michael Lanning. We're finishing up the last couple of pages. That's kickstarted right now. And but I have been inking Pete on the Silverline book and the team up book. Thank you. And that's the one. And then I do my own stuff, Inferno Studio stuff, and I'm also the co-owner of Kablam Digital Printing. Okay, I'm done.
That's it, is it?
Kablam!
Is that everybody?
Yeah, we got it.
Just you, I think.
Hello, and I am Roland. I am the chief cook and bottle washer here at Silverline. I write a handful of the books, including the aforementioned Silverline Team Up Champion and Miss Fury, and Trumps, and Cat and Mouse, and the Rejects that we are currently crowdfunding right now, which I want to share with you to see.
You sure?
Look, we are at, I don't know. Where's my mouse? Okay, there you go. You can see we are at 3257. Which means we've just made our first stretch goal.
Oh,
yay!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep, that's so awesome. So that means that everybody at all the reward tiers, and it's funny because we have to say that because you guys may not know there are some, I don't know if they're bots or not, but there's some places out there that will pledge like $1. One called the Creative Fund, and someone told me that the Creative Fund is like pledged every single Kickstarter there ever has been.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, they pledge
it's
like
like
$1.
The Facebook friend that everybody gets.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not a reward tier, so I'm like, okay, well, you have to pledge to a reward tier in order to get these, but all the reward tiers will get the digital stretch goals. And for this first one, we have Haley Martin's Heroic Shenanigans. It's a longer work. I don't remember the exact page count, but Haley is the colorist for the Rejects. and she was also my collaborator on Bear. Y'all may remember that.
Mhm.
And then we get Thomas Formonti's Zomboy number 0 and number 1. And let's see, I have in the updates here, we can actually see there's the covers of them. So
Nice.
Cool.
yeah, so that's what everyone is getting. And so now, if we can hit our next stretch goal, the next stretch goal is 3,500. If we can hit that, then we're going to get a bookmark. And on one side, you're going to have Sniper and Rook, and on the other side, you're going to have Rejects, right? So the next stretch goal then is 3,750, and John and I got together and decided we would put together a big behind-the-scenes kind of digital package. And this will be for all reward tiers, and it will include scripts, sketches, and all kind of things like that, including, you'll see here, there was a 6-page reject story drawn by a guy by the name of J.C. Grand, who I understand we may be seeing some more of JC Grand up here, Silverline in the future.
Cool.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. And plus, there's going to be a couple of probably a couple of sketches in there from an artist that might surprise some of you.
Is it me?
No, not you this time.
Is it you? Are you drawn finally?
No. It's actually a penciler's name that we worked with some in the 90s, who doesn't do a whole lot of comic books today, but he and I had talked a couple years ago about doing something, and he did about doing rejects, and he did some sketches. But that was as far as it got before otherwise decided not to. But I'm going to include those in there too. And then our 4,000, if we can hit 4,000, why did I not put dollar sign? Look at that. Look at that. See, I need an editor. Some editor should have caught that. There are dollar signs right there, and there's no dollar signs right here, right?
Oh, that's not right.
And that's not right. So when we can hit $4,000, then everyone who backed for a physical tier will receive a signed Sniper and Rook number 1. This is volume 1. This dates back to about 97, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Although this right here, I may have grabbed the wrong cover, because this right here says 2009, and I'm pretty sure John said, well, this may be the one he was offering. But anyway, Sniper and Rook, this volume dates back to the late 90s. I'm not sure the exact year, but John is going to sign them all, and everyone who backed for a physical reward will get a copy of that with your package. So I got 2 more that I'm working on, but I'm still assembling some images. So hopefully, or maybe is it 3 more? I think it's 2 more. So so you guys, if you haven't pledged yet, get on over there and what are you waiting on? Pledge. Help us make some of these stretch goals.
You even added a couple of commissions from who? From me.
From you, I sure did. That was in. Let's see here. That was in. Well, all right. I already shut it off, didn't I? Share screen. Excuse me. I need to share that. And if you'll see, whoops, I got to go back to the actual Kickstarter here, the campaign here. We get on down here and we see. Look at this here. All the C. Michaels going, look, Thomas Formonti commissions. You get a commission from Thomas Formonti.
I'll do a couple. We'll see how that goes.
This is the kind of commission that you would get from him if you ran up to him at a convention and said, hey, do me a commission.
Draw me something funny.
Draw me something. Dance for me, monkey.
That's what I'll do for you. I'm a complete sellout. Whatever you want.
So this is what you get. There are still a few pages left. This is a nice penciled version of the C. Michael Lanning cover that is still available, and then the inked pages of page 21 from Tommy. And then there's a couple of these are still of a deal. I realize these are not from a published project, but these are some early C. Michael Lanning pages. You're going to be glad you have, because C. Michael is going places. You just wait and see. So yeah, so there's a handful of stuff, as well as one of the things we added. Where's it at? Yes. So you guys already know that you can, if you missed an issue of the Silverline comics, you can always grab them as a back issue as part of our Kickstarter. And have y'all noticed how big this list has gotten? Look at this.
Yeah, it is.
It's enormous.
It is
Yeah.
huge.
Check it out. How cool is that?
So behind that, on the screen, we see all of the little thumbnails of the covers just screen back anyway.
Yes. Yes.
And it's amazing what a range we have.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is very cool.
Yeah, on Friday when I was printing up the last of the Kickstarter stuff, I forgot to print one of the books, and so I jumped over into your area over at Kablam to print your books, and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then I'm like, well, we may some of these you're not going to print anymore because they're Kickstarter exclusives and stuff. We may should talk about deleting some of these to give me some hard drive space back.
All right, well, we'll do it. We'll talk about it.
That's a no.
That's a no.
Don't delete.
That means no.
Never delete.
No,
Move it off, sure.
Yeah. So no. I actually think that's a good idea. The Kickstarter exclusives.
Yeah, those are exclusives. Those are exclusive.
Yep.
Once the Kickstarter is done, it's done.
They're not going to be printed anymore. So
save the covers though, because they make great blow ups.
Yeah. Well, Roberta, it'll make you happy to know that I do have all of that on the Dropbox file. So,
yeah, he saves all that stuff.
Okay, I don't know because they always look like they're gone. Oh my God.
Well, I have. So it's so funny. You guys will laugh. So, BJ, my wife, who's always she's kind of trying to get a lot of the behind the scenes things going. She'll come in and say, "Hey, I need photos of the creators." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Do you have them?" I said, "Yeah, I think I got most everybody." And she said, "Can you give them to me?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let me create a folder." And so then I'll click it open. And she says, and she's standing over my shoulder, and she says, "That folder right there. Why don't you just give me access to it?" And I said, "Oh no, no. I will create a separate folder for you, and I will copy these and put these into that folder." She says, "Why won't you give me the access to it?" I said, No. There are folders that no one has access to but me.
which kind of goes into a public service announcement. I want to do it in a little bit here in a few minutes.
Okay. Well, let me finish this then. So the other thing that you can do is you can add. John has made available the first two collections of the first volume of Sniper and Rook. So, I went round and round with John on this because I failed to comprehend what he did with the second collection. But the first collection collects Sniper and Rook issues 1 through 5. And then the second collection, all right, you ready for this? It collects some of issue 7, and then 8 and 9, and then 11. And I said,
so what's wrong with 10?
Well, I don't know. I said, well, what's wrong with the rest of 7? Right? Why is there only
half of 7? Yeah.
Right. And
he doesn't have it apparently.
No. It was published, right? So yeah, he tried to go launch into the thing, explaining to me, story wise, whatever. I was like, all right, whatever, that's fine. But anyway, these are the first two collections that John made for Sniper and Rook. For the first volume, so we have made those available, and these are black and white in case anyone is unsure. These are black and white with color covers. So
I'll officially request that he work on a story alteration for a full 7. I want a 7.
John has probably written that too. John's got so much stuff written, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I say that really happily because I'm a colorist and it's black and white, so I have to do it.
I'm sure you thought of it. You're about to do it, but did you want to share the trailer with everybody for the video about it?
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Let me. We have.
I'm very excited that you can get back issues.
Yes, and cool. Again, I harken back to our history. You know what where I really kind of got this idea from, not necessarily for the Kickstarters, but just kind of in general. You guys know anything? I wish I had. Oh, I bet I do have an old one here. So Malibu Comics used to, in their comics, in the very back, they used to have this at one point in time, right? There was just a list of all their.
That was everything they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Also available from Malibu Graphics, right? And you could mail order those in. They had, at one point in time, they did 2 pages worth, and some of them had covers. I am not seeing that here though, but yeah. And here's another issue, right? Available from Malibu Graphics. So they always had something in there that was like, hey, you missed something, but we're going to make it available to you. We want you to have it. And, you know, as one of the things when we first started doing this, that was one of the things we said is like, you know what? If we don't want somebody, if they miss something, now, obviously the Kickstarter exclusives are exclusive to the Kickstarter, but if you missed, you know, Silverline Team Up #1, and you hear us talking about it all the time because 4 of us are here, right? You need to be able to get it so you can still back this Kickstarter and grab your copy of Silverline Team Up #1.
Very true.
So yeah. All right, so let's play that video for you here, and here we
There we go.
Hi, I am Roland Mann, and I run Silverline Comics, the genre-spanning independent comic and graphic novel publisher. And I'm here to tell you about our latest Kickstarter. I'm not going to waste any more time talking. John, tell us about Sniper and Rook.
Hey there. Thanks for stopping by. My name is John Medic, and I am the creator and writer of Sniper and Rook, now coming to you from Silverline Comics. Thanks for checking out our Kickstarter, and we hope that you'll go ahead and pledge. A little bit about Sniper and Rook. They are a pair of covert government operatives where they work underneath a specific general. They are tasked with missions that take them across the globe, across the world, across maybe the universe, since we're dealing with Area 51. Check it out. Pledge today.
Thanks, John. And now I get to tell you about the rejects. Come on, I'm so excited to tell you about this one.
When danger is near, we need heroes who can respond decisively and with authority. When evil is around, we need superheroes who can fight supervillains. But what do you do when the Fantastic Four is busy? When the Justice League is unavailable? When the Avengers are out of the galaxy? The world has no other option. They call the rejects. Rejected by all other respectable superhero teams, this band of misfits joins together to fight crime and injustice, and maybe get a mention on the evening news. They are formidable, ferocious, fearless, and forgettable.
John and I are so excited. Actually, we've been really anxious to do a Kickstarter together for like 2 years now. Maybe 2 years. Something like that. It's been a while. So, back it if you can, share it if you will, and remember to make mine Silverline.
You know, I never noticed before, but the sound, the little soundtrack that I use in the back drops. It kind of, I don't know the musical term for it, but it's kind of upbeat, and then it drops just the right time. I'm like, ooh, it looks like I planned that.
Go with it.
I do like that line at the end. Forgettable. I like how it sounds like a movie poster, you know. Like
yeah, they're fearless, ferocious, and forgettable.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me to do that, Curtis.
Sure.
While we are on the subject of Kickstarters, let me show you what I hold in my hand now.
What do you got?
Hold in my hand.
What is that?
The White Devil and Twilight Grim book Kickstarter.
Is that a Stephen Butler cover or?
That is a Stephen Butler homage cover.
I know. It's the first time I noticed what it is. Finally, it's like, oh yeah.
Yep, it's homage for Superman. Right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
That's cool.
And of course, you get in here. You get White Devil, Ari Jones, and Jackson Rennick, and of course, there's our supporters.
And then what
of
happens
course-
when you flip it over?
And then you flip it over, and we have a nice Aaron Humphreys cover here. Twilight Grim, and then you get interiors. You get R.A. Jones and Rob Davis and Mickey Clausen, and I can't flip very good while I'm backwards here. But I hold these in my these hot little things in my hands now. So hopefully we'll start shipping these out tomorrow, and you guys should start seeing.
Wait a minute, I got them to you yesterday. They're not all out already?
No, they're not all out.
Oh.
You got them to me last night, so.
Yeah, no. In the back of a parking lot, we were doing a comic book drug deal or something going on.
That is true. It wasn't a dark, creepy parking lot.
Yep. You remember the guy pulled up next to us and just was sitting there, and that's an empty parking lot. A guy just pulled up next to us and sat there.
And the thing about it is, the parking lot was huge, and he parked literally right beside Tommy. In the spot right now. Tommy and I didn't even park right next to each other.
No.
There was at least a space, maybe two between us. Probably just a space.
Well, we had the 6 foot COVID space between our cars.
Yeah.
That should be a rule, because you get out of your car and they're right there.
Yeah. It'd been different if the parking lot was full.
No, nobody.
That's like, fellas, if you're in the restroom and some guy stands next to you and there's all the stalls are completely open.
Oh, when we gotta explain this Roberta, usually the urinals are all stacked up next to each other. She's never been in a men's room. Why would she wouldn't know what your joke is about?
Cameras have been there in movies.
You do your business and somebody comes in and stands right next to you when there's 5 open ones on either side.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It is terrible.
That's when you look at the person and then you move over one. Are you? Are you?
Let's don't go there. We're about to cross that line.
Let's back off.
Sorry, I put us in the gutter. Sorry.
It's okay. My father-in-law
Can Curtis plug his show, because it was awesome?
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome. It was really good.
Oh, thanks. Isn't that guy cool, Brad Graber?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
fascinating.
So the latest episode of the Comics Flu should be divided into 2 episodes. But Brad Graber, who's the head of Powerhouse Animation, which is an animation studio, there's tons of shows for Netflix like Castlevania, He-Man. Trying to think. Seis Manos, and the other one is on the tip of my tongue, but I'll remember. But yeah, they do tons of great shows. And he came on the show. He's a dedicated Kung Fu practitioner and an animator. And we just got to talk with him about his career and his animation.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the second episode, he actually talks about how Kevin Smith actually was one of the guys that kind of helped his company. They're about to close. And it actually was a project with Kevin Smith that actually brought it to the full play. So he's a really interesting guy, very personable, very nice guy. So check it out. It's on the Silverline channel and on multiple platforms. But Comics Foo Show episode 3 with Brad Graber, really, really fun. Really,
and a martial artist.
Yeah, and a martial artist too, right? So
martial artist and an animator.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. We have our own martial artist and animator and comic artist.
There you go,
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Tommy try kung fu, so
slow kung fu.
It's Flatamani fu.
It's pretty bad.
So, all right. So we got a couple comments here. My father-in-law says, "Hello, big dummy. What's up? Screw loose." And he says, "I share y'all on Facebook for my friends in Mississippi. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
That's nice."
And Wubba Fett says, "Hola, Silverline fam. What's up?
Hey.
Come back to civilization."
It's been a penciling fiend these days.
Right?
He needs to be
churning it out.
He probably heard me threaten to get that whip. Come on, dude. Gotta get this book going. So, there's an error. What's the error here? An error occurred. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. All right.
no problem.
I'll make it go away, and maybe it went away. Let's see. Got that Kickstarter. Anything else
Send it
new?
to us, please. Put them in the mail.
Well,
yes.
I might have had permission to come to Daytona Comic Con.
Wow.
What? Are you serious?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. We
Nice.
obviously the baby's arriving in May, so it should be okay. Yeah,
That would be really cool.
That would be
Wow.
super awesome.
That is
yeah.
awesome.
It's got to pay for the flights, isn't it? So yeah.
Well,
Wow.
Let's hope it warms up by then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it will be much warmer in September.
Should I just fly into Daytona? Is that the airport?
we'll talk about it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Some other things that we want to make sure you can arrange, if you can, that you can arrange for. The best airport. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But that would be so cool.
That would be really cool, Pete.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I trust you got my email then.
I got your email, yeah. So I've been
Okay.
talking about it and pitching it slowly and slowly. So, well, yeah, if it's Silverline, yeah, it should be okay. The baby should be a few months old by then. So he's like, okay, cool.
It's a lot of shoulds.
What says, hey, Roland, you have an incoming page tonight. Heads up. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yeah.
The victory.
If
Glad to
Wob
hear
was
that.
watching, why doesn't he just join?
I thought that. I was going to say the same thing.
Why would you just join?
Well,
Good audio
Yeah,
even.
jump in, Bubba.
Yeah, just jump in and say hi.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. Nobody asked me. I just joined.
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, nobody asked me
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
on this
he's
one. I
got the
just came
link.
on anyway.
So, yeah, you can jump in, Wubba, if you want to. Even if it's for just a few minutes, jump on in.
Yeah.
Say hi. All right, so that's exciting news. So today's episode is titled Pete Says.
Yeah, that's what Pete said. And let's fingers crossed that all works out. Here's the thing for you. Hang on, 2 seconds. Here's something we can discuss.
Oh, he's got something.
It'll be a very brief discussion.
Wubba says just a situation, can't at the time. So
That's all right.
yeah. Wubba's he said it before, so I can repeat it. Wubba is in the midst of a move, and once he gets moved in, he tells me he's going to he says, but I'll be a pain in the butt once I get fully moved fully. So yeah, so once he gets fully moved, he's going to be all over us. So that's exciting to hear. So we're cheering for Wubba's move. Come on, go, Wubba, go, Wubba, go.
Anyway,
all right, Pete, what you got?
Oh, yeah. So here is a comic book, right? It's just this is comic book size. We know this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
What do we think of these?
What?
Oh,
the Black
that's
Label
terrible.
Magazine size.
That's really wild.
So
it's just a magazine-sized comic book.
Yeah.
Now, but being on the Kablam side of things, we print bunches of those. So we've got three sizes. We do what we call the little manga size, which is a digest, right? A little tiny guy, and then a standard size, which is our normal comic, and then the magazine ones. We do them now. The 90% of them is comic book size, but we do lots of those. So you don't like the magazine size?
Well, no, don't get me wrong. Comic book doesn't really matter what size it is. It's just storing it is a pain.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put them in a drawer because they don't go in a long box.
Yeah. Well,
now, they make long boxes for that size book.
I have one.
I'm not sure what size you draw at because obviously it's not the traditional comic book size.
I think you would have to make it like wider, right? You can still make it the same height, but you'd have to make it wider and then
it's taller and wider, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
see, it's more wider than it is taller. More wider.
Yeah, it's more wider than it is taller. There you go, guys. There's your professor there. Make it more wider.
More wider. You do teach like English, basically, right? That's what it is.
I recall though, like I'd gotten a British comic book of the British version of G.I. Joe was called Action Force, and it was in that size.
Yeah, they did magazines like Judge Dredd in 2000 AD in magazine.
Yeah, they did at one point. So yeah.
That was all the 2000 AD stuff in magazine format.
Yeah. Even now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, even now. Yeah, they don't come out comic book size. I think they might get reprinted. No, actually, no, what they don't. No, they're magazine size.
Okay, I was gonna say. So if they get reprinted, then how do they
No,
adjust
they
the
don't.
art?
Yeah, they don't. They're reprinted just magazine size, but in hardback when collected.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
I'm not a fan for the reasons that so you toss this out, Pete. So I'm not a fan for the reasons that you state. As you can obviously see behind me, I have lots of boxes. Obviously, they're catered towards the comic book industry and kind of the standard. All of even the variations, the Golden Age.
Right, they're a little bit, but they're still that same general size.
Yes, and they can all still fit in my box. But if you get some, like I'll give you an example. I did, and Tommy might remember this, but I know Curtis and Roberta will. You remember the Rocket Comet comics?
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
They were magazine size.
Yeah.
I remember those.
And,
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I did when I got
That's
my
right.
Lita Ford comps.
Mhm.
And because I always keep one, a couple for myself. Literally, I had to stuff it in the box and turn the corner, turn the edges, because I didn't know
Oh
anywhere.
no.
Well, you know what I ended up doing? Putting it sideways in the box.
Just along.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had some like that.
Yeah.
Sideways.
But
like
yeah,
the Rocket Comics.
Rocket
Really
Comics,
cool.
Yeah.
I think there's always been something that's turned me off from the magazine because it's like a magazine. I'm like, well, I don't want a magazine. I want a comic book.
Yeah. Something psychological, right?
Yeah, and which is silly because kids grow up reading like magazines of. Over here we had the Beano and the Dandy, and that was the kids, and it still is, and it's their magazines. But at some point, you're like, well, no, comic books are comic books. I don't want the kiddie magazines anymore. I want the comic book.
Yeah.
Which is silly because Judge Dredd is the prime example of a adult comic book.
Well, heavy metal, right? Heavy metal would be magazine.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, and then I
I'm
don't
just
know.
wondering what the thinking was. Fine, we're going to do these, but they're going to be magazine size.
Yeah,
because they're still Batman and they're still DC Comics properties. But...
Yeah. Well, so how do you think that? So all right, so this is kind of our reaction. How do you think fans react to them? Do you think fans kind of have the same?
Yeah, I mean, I buy them. Obviously, I've got one here. I just have to put them somewhere else.
Yeah,
they go in a drawer. And also, backing boards and wallets, you have to get special backing. You have to get I don't have
and what
the magazine wallets. The
wallet
bags. Wallets.
Yeah, that's why. So sometimes Pete says something, y'all, and you say, and when I say what, it's because I think I heard him, and then I'm like, I'm not sure. He said when I think he said, so I'm needing
bags seems like a plastic bag, shopping bag, no wallet.
A wallet.
Yeah, we get people asking us about. So I've heard that referred to the bag. Yeah, we call it bag and boarded, but yeah,
bag and board. That's right. Yeah,
yeah.
Bag and board.
Yeah, you deal with it. Yeah,
but yeah, the magazine ones you could buy them like 50 a time. I don't have that many magazines. They just sit around for ages.
Right.
But if I buy 100 boards and 100 bags, I'll go through those in a month or two. That's fine.
Right.
50 of the magazine ones. Where am I put those?
Yeah, where are you going to put the extra bags, right?
At least with the backing boards and bags, I can put them in the long box if I've got space.
Here's a little question for you guys. When you're getting your books, do you bag and board everything?
Yes.
To get even the books that you don't give a flip about.
Even free comic book day.
Why are you buying it if you don't care about it?
No, but because
how much money are you making? We're just throwing it away on comics you don't like.
Because I've got millions of comic books. I don't bag and board them. I bag and board the special ones, like all my Spider-Mans and all that kind of stuff. But the rest of them, I just
I've got into
honest,
everything, of course.
I bag some that I don't care about.
Yeah, I really don't.
Do you have the Mylar ones?
Are those the thick bags? The real thick?
The special ones that are really shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use those for special back books. And I use normal bags and boards.
What about you, Roland? Do you bag and board your everything? Or you at least bag everything? I don't. I really don't.
I don't bag everything. I don't.
No, I don't bag. Whenever I get, and just
So
no.
here's let me kind of tell you why I don't though. So at one point in time, I probably did, but now this goes back probably to just before Malibu, and then when I started working at Malibu, I started getting so many comics.
Yeah,
I couldn't read them all.
Yeah.
Because once we got onto the ultimately we got onto the Marvel comp list and the DC comp list, and I was getting so many comics I could not read them all, and they were a lot of them. I mean, I read a bunch, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't read any of them. It's just that there were so many comics, and I just started putting them in boxes. I'd get them, and you just start putting them in boxes.
Totally.
The ones that are special to me, like my Avengers, my Spider-Man. Those are all bagged.
Yeah.
They're not all boarded though, but like my Avengers 1 through 100, they're all boarded. But
all my Spider-Mans are bagged and boarded. But
yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to make Pete mad. When I put them in the long boxes, I don't necessarily even run them up this way. I just leave them flat in the box like that.
Ooh.
This guy works in comic books.
Yeah.
Clearly has no respect for the medium.
Oh, and then every now and again, I go through those boxes and find some stuff that I know I'm never going to read again, and I give them away to family and friends of other. Yeah, I give. What am I going to do with them?
Well,
I keep my special ones, and then the rest of them, I end up, I've read them. I'm not going to probably read. But
well, I've taken to one of the things that I started doing just very recently is some of the ones that I know I'm going to get rid of. I send them to you guys.
I know, thank you. I've got those.
Yeah. So if you ever get a package from me that you're like, what's this Star Trek doing in here? It's probably because I heard you say I love Star Trek sometime, and so I'm like, oh, I can send these Star Trek comics that I don't want, and I can give them to a good home, and so yeah. Anytime you get something extra like that, it's because I've heard you say something. What do you got there, Pete? From New Comic Book Day?
That's his bags of books that he's got. Are you going to bag and board them while we watch? That'll be good.
I love the smell of old comic books.
Oh, I love the smell of old comics.
I know.
So these,
the ink is awesome.
My comic book shop did a sale of like 10p and 50p books. So I had to get a load of stock to get rid of and the old stuff, right? So.
Oh, nice. What kind of book do I want to see it?
So I just bought a load. I bought like £10 worth. I got an X-Force #1.
Oh, nice.
Trading card.
In a bag.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just went through and grabbed some stuff that looked quite cool. But yeah, so they didn't cost me anything. I haven't bought them. But I'll give those away to nieces and nephews and stuff.
Yeah. I do that a lot.
Oh, it's Swamp Thing 52. It's not.
Wow. Alan Moore's probably off by that. Oh, that's a Captain America there.
Yeah. Captain America 326. I don't know.
That's probably still Grunwald, isn't it? Grunwald the writer.
Mark Grunwald, yes, very good.
Yep.
Paul Neary is the penciler. Thomas Fioramonti is the inker.
Was I?
No, I just tried to me. It won't actually do that. What? I put away.
I made it.
Yeah, so those aren't boarded because I give those away.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wubba says, I'm up for more DS9 comics rolling. Yeah, because see, I heard Wubba talk about Deep Space Nine, so I sent Wubba a bunch of Deep Space Nine. He said Lobo Arun is a bonus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, Rune is awesome.
Yeah, Rune was good.
Yeah.
Roland, you mentioned when Marvel bought out Malibu, we were getting comped all those books, and it was like the craziest thing. You go to your mailbox, and it would just be like flush, like it was massive.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and to this day, those are the books that I still haven't bagged or boarded. And the funniest thing is when I had to close my Kung Fu studio, right? We have all this, hardcore, cool martial arts equipment and weapons and swords, but then we had like this kind of this partition wall, and on top of it, behind like all this martial arts equipment, I had like 8 or 10 comic book long boxes because that was the only place I could
Oh my
store
God.
them. You know, so it was like, so then when I'm moving it out, it's like, okay, put the swords over here, and let's go and take this long box, put it over here.
So what?
Wow.
So what I've not told terribly too many people, I got rid of about around middle 2003, 4, 5, somewhere around in that. I got rid of about 10 long boxes of comics.
Wow.
Oh,
I got rid of 8 when I moved down here from Mississippi when I moved to Orlando.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of them, most of them were just 90s, kind of 90s glut stuff, you know.
Sure.
Stuff that I see now, I'm like, why are you paying that much? I saw somebody by, what's that? Tommy, I think you might have done some work on it.
No problem.
Did you worked with Danny Fingeroth? He wrote this Marvel comic that didn't run for very long.
Yeah. What was that book that I did?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Roy actually did some pencils on it, right? Is that the one you're
I
talking
think
about?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of
What
that?
was it? It was kind of crap. Oh well.
Night Thrasher.
That book.
Night Thrasher.
No,
Night
Watcher.
Night Watcher. I thought it was
He
Night
looked kind of like
Thrasher.
Spawn. Nightwatch looked kind of like Spawn a little bit.
Yes, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he looked similar to Spawn.
So it was things like that I was getting rid of because I'm like,
You got rid of, you threw my book away? Why did you?
I didn't realize that you inked it
right.
until later.
I've got to.
You can't even remember what you ink from time to time. Come on now, cut me some slack.
All right, I'm gone. Bye.
You love us next
Tommy,
night.
come back.
Okay, I'm back.
Took a little convincing.
Yeah. The thing about it is, I sometimes now think, because when I see that at these conventions now that the TV shows and all that kind of stuff are there, I wonder, well, did I have anything that might have been worth any? But you can't spend your time worried about that, right?
No, you sure can't. You don't. That'll drive you crazy.
The sunken cost feeling, you know.
Yeah. I know I got rid of some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff.
I bought issue 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja. I don't know what I did with it. I know it wasn't in that batch that I gave away of all that stuff. I can't find it anymore. I don't know what happened to it.
Well, I didn't buy it, because Brendan is the one. Brendan Kavanaugh, it's his store. He's the one. He told me to buy it, and I didn't buy it because I looked at it. And I'm like,
I think he was the one that I bought it from.
Yep. Yes. And I looked at it and I'm like, what the heck? It's like so I didn't buy it, but then of course like 3 weeks later it was like $100 or something like that. I'm like,
well, I bought mine in Biloxi. You remember the British guy Dave comic shop? That's who I bought it from. That's where Scott used to work from before he got his own store. That's who I bought it from. I remember seeing it on the thing and they go, buy that, and I bought it and I'm like, this is weird. That's cool.
Yeah.
And now I've lost it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then what happened is they came out with those solo books. You remember that? Michelangelo, Raphael, and
Yep.
And I bought all those, and they didn't do anything. They didn't go up in the cost, right? They didn't go up in price. I'm like, well, crap. That's the way it always works for me, right? Infrafan says, if you get rid of any more comics, send them to me. Care of me. Me. Sweet. And Wubba said, Night Watch had a lot of potential. Marvel screwed the pooch on that one.
I don't know. That book was just so I don't want to talk bad about it.
Yeah.
When Roy started penciling it, it started looking good. But God, like I said, I don't want to talk bad about
it. Yeah. If I hadn't mentioned the writer, would you have remembered who the writer was?
No, it wasn't Finger or Danny. It was Mark. It was one of the other editors because they all gave work to each other.
Oh yeah, they did.
Mark something or another. I forgot. I forget.
I don't remember Mark.
Yeah, but no, I remember getting the pages when they offered it to me, and I'm like, "You want me to do? Why are we doing this?"
I liked Roy's stuff. Roy did
when Roy started on it, it started starting to look pretty cool.
I thought Roy did a really nice gravestone.
Yes, that was really cool. That's where I started inking Roy. But no, it was who was that? Golly, y'all making me go back through time. Stephen was doing the covers for that book, not the Marvel book, the Night Watch book.
Oh,
So
was he?
I got to ink some of those, and that's when they were like Stephen did a couple of covers, and then Stephen asked if I could ink one, and then Stephen's like, "Who's this Thomas guy?" And they go, "Oh, and then they go, "Well, why don't we get him just to ink the book?" And so that's how. Is that how it works? Right?
Yeah, it is how it works.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. And Pete, let me know if Cuber School does this. At Full Sail, one of the things that we start telling our students from day one is to network. We're like, we can teach you the stuff, right? But you got to get out there and meet people, because it's all about networking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we get introduced in the third year to lots of editors at different publishers, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
And you have a Cubit School email, so when people see emails, you see it's from the Cubit School, which I use.
That probably helps a bunch.
But it's on you to follow up with them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're not just going to go, right, we've seen you, here's a job. Obviously, otherwise I'll be working for Marvel. Yeah, I did it this week. I sent my stuff out, sent some recent stuff out to editors, but 9 times out of 10 you don't hear anything back.
Yeah.
You just, maybe they're filing it away somewhere, saying, okay, maybe one day we'll use this guy, put it in a file, maybe. So you just, I'll send them out every few months. I'll send out some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get anybody bugging folks, and I don't know how it works now, but shoot, I somehow or another started getting figuring out editors' phone numbers, and I just called. I sent them a pack. I saw when it was delivered, and I would call. The crap out of them. Eventually, they just started. Now, not with Roland, of course, but with some of the other.
You already knew
stuff.
me.
Yeah, Roland was like, "Quit calling! I'll give you ink this book. Leave me alone." But yeah, no, I called and I go, "Hey, it's Thomas Flemont. Did you get that pack of stuff?" "Yeah, I got it. We're not giving you nothing." "All right, well, I'll send you another pack in a couple of weeks."
Yeah, I mean, isn't that how you met Wubba? Isn't that how you met Wubba? He just was sending you stuff.
That's, Wubba. So the way Wubba happened is he was kind of like he's doing now, right? He was leaving all these comments on the stream, and he started talking about ferret this, ferret that. And then he's like, "Hey, I did some ferret pages. You want to see them?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So he sent me a ferret pages. I'm like, "Man, this looks really good. I like these ferret pages, dude." So we started talking. One thing led to another. We actually were. I'm trying to remember. I think that I think we're going to have him do some other. Well, if you're still listening, help me out here. I think that he and I talked about doing a different project, but then kind of as it went along, I'm like, you know what? No. Let's make this the next story of Cat and Mouse. Let's just make this volume 2 or volume 3, which would be actually, but the one that follows this one. I said, let's make this one the Cat and Mouse volume that follows the one we're doing now. And so that's how that happened. And of course, Wubba's already done the first issue of the next volume,
whatever it's called.
Yeah. So but then we had to get him to step in to do this last issue of the first volume, or the volume we're doing now.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we got locked up a little bit. But one of the things, Pete, you talk about sending your stuff in. I don't know.
I don't know if that would work nowadays.
Well, what I was going to say is I don't know if their volume that they get is the same as it was, but Curtis remembers the amount of submissions that we used to get.
We had a room. We had a separate room for submissions. Like it was like a walk-in closet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was even before we were part of Marvel, Yeah. We just got so many submissions. It was so hard. It was, and I tell people, I don't remember hiring that many people out of the submission.
Yeah.
The only way I could think we hired someone out of the submission pile is if Curtis was opening one of the envelopes and something fell out and he goes, "Ooh, I love this. And then Curtis would walk it over to the editors and show us, "Hey, look at this, Well,
you guys would even, this is why be nice to everybody wherever rung they are on the corporate ladder of a company, because you never know. But I remember there were times where you or some of the editors would just say, go in that back room, pick a couple that you think
we need something done,
and bring it back to us. And of course, at the end of the day, it was your decision, right? But you have a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid who reads comic books, who's the perfect market, right? Why not send him back there to look at what he would buy?
Yeah.
And so here I am, this kid, but actually is the person that's the transition from this person to starting a career in a weird way.
You're the gatekeeper.
Right? Yeah, without knowing it, right? So so you just never know, It's,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So, but there's also still there's nothing like that personal touch. It's like, hey, I know you, and you're not a loony psycho person, and hey, I like your artwork too. And I think that matters a lot. Infrafan says nothing will get comic published faster than blackmail. On an unrelated note, Roland, you'll find an unmarked envelope in your top drawer. Wubba confirms here. Yeah, you had a couple of choices of project and then offered the Cat and Mouse issue mini. That was to follow the one he's doing now. Yeah. So the one he started was going to follow the story that we still haven't finished yet. And then that wasn't able to happen, and so I said, "Hey, Wubba, why don't you finish this one so that we can get on to the next one?" So, yeah.
I mean, I don't like doing it. I hate like cold emailing people, just saying, "Oh, hi, do you remember me?"
So, Pete, can you remember what editors you met?
Yeah. I have a list of them on my phone because I have all their contact details on my phone.
Oh, cool.
Nobody asked me for them. I can't give them out. I'm sorry.
No, but names.
So I have Andy Kubert, obviously.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Andy's actually really good. He actually responds to me.
This
stuff's really improving. Blah blah blah. Gives feedback.
Yeah, because you send him an email with his name on it.
Christina Harrington at Aftershock.
Okay, cool.
I've got so many. What do I email this week? Editors, yes. Matt Idelson at Dynamite.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I have Lisa Hawkins at Valiant.
Don't know that person.
I have a Zenscope and Humanoids, but I only got like a general. I've inquired after a 2000 AD one this week, but they're really because 2000 AD operate this open like submission thing once a year.
Yeah.
But I'm way too busy to be drawing the 2000 AD script just on the off chance that they'll hire me. So can't do that. But yeah, I have a Marvel contact and some others. But yeah.
Is that Mark?
Not that I get feedback. Not that I get replies from them.
Okay. Is it Mark Panicia by any chance?
No.
Okay.
No. I met them at New York Comic Con 2019 maybe.
Okay. So just a few years
before
ago.
before COVID.
Yeah.
I just had all my samples in envelopes and I dropped one off at the Marvel booth. And the next day I was asked for a call back to go and sit with a round table of Marvel editors. And they all, one's in charge of Star Wars, one's in charge of X-Men and blah 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 and Avengers. We just went through a portfolio and they said, okay, we're gonna send you a sample script to draw. Defenders sample script. I was like, yeah, cool, brilliant. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I never got that.
Oh, really? The X-Men editor might have been Mark.
I emailed them after the convention and said, "Hi, really great to meet you." And as you asked me to email you, so for the sample script, and I never got a reply.
Oh man,
hey, that's life.
It is. Well, I tell you, and I'm sure that Kubert School did as well. What as an editor, one of the things that was always when you meet an artist. So you meet two artists, right? One artist has a bunch of sample pages, and the other one has sample pages plus here's some independent comic books that I did.
That's right.
That's always far more impressive, right? Because you're like, hey, look, this person's they're doing some stuff. They've got some even if it's small press stuff, it was always okay. Look, this is more impressive. And this is why I always tell anybody who asks me, I'm like, look, draw comics, make comic books.
Yeah.
You know, make them, get them out there.
That's what we were told. If you want to work in comics, just go and make a comic.
Yeah.
That's more impressive than keep turning up with a load of samples every convention. So
absolutely is.
That's what I do.
Yep. And you do a fine job of it. Instructor Lex says Sifu Curtis is a great guy. Interested in anything he's doing.
Hey, what's up, Instructor Lex? Instructor Lex is a martial arts instructor out of Arizona. Wow. And I met him online. We kind of mutually appreciate each other's martial arts.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and then we actually went ahead and got to meet once in person. And the funniest thing is, you know, martial arts have kind of sharp reflexes. We were having a drink. We were just getting a smoothie, and we had this instance where the table shifted and the smoothie was about to drop, and both of us grabbed for it at the same time and caught it at the same time. And it was like this kind of funny moment. We kind of eyeballed each other. So
that reminds me of Lady and the Tramp, Curtis, when they had the spaghetti.
No, we don't know those. We don't know those kind of tramps. They may be tramps, may be in your circle, but over here, we talk about guys and guys. But no, he's a really
Curtis does live in California.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't help.
Instructor Lex is a really cool guy. He's a really nice guy, and
excellent.
So good to see you, sir.
Well, thank you for joining us, Instructor Lex. We appreciate it. Feel free to ask the hard questions here, Curtis. We're more than happy to put him on the spot, as you can see.
All right, so is it time for me to share yet?
Oh, doggone it. Yeah, please. Somebody share.
I was like, wait a minute, I'm drawing offline here.
Yes.
Here.
Wubba says, so after move completion, ready to rock that monthly idea. I am waiting on you, Wubba. Hey, look who we got here. Hyper Potato. Haven't seen you in a little while, Hyper. Glad to see you stop by. Thank you so much. He says, like and subscribe, kids. I agree. Go hit that like button. Mm-hmm. Go hit that heart button. Go hit that subscribe button. All of wherever you are listening, go do that and give us a follow here. He also says, Peter Clinton draws a great Sergeant Rock. Just saying.
He does. Thanks so much.
That's nice.
So you can probably take a guess at who Hyper Potato is. A Sergeant Rock fan.
I got to draw an arrow from Malibu yet today.
Really?
Cool. That's cool.
I want to know who you're drawing these things for.
That's for the same guy who did the cat and mouse.
Really?
Yeah. He ordered two, and I finally got them done. I can say Eric's name, Eric Sims.
Excellent. So that's I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. He's fantastic. Eric is I'm sure he would not, if he's listening, I'm sure he would not mind me saying this. Eric is absolutely 100% a supporter of ours, you guys. He is
awesome.
Yep. He is a Silverline supporter. So Eric, if you're listening, thank you so very much. As is Hyper Potato. Hyper Potato is a hyper supporter of ours. So I don't know, Hyper, I don't know if you saw it, but I got these in, so you'll have a package coming your way real soon, as will you, Eric. All the backers. What else does Pete say this week? He's like, man, I was hoping I'd avoided that second bullet.
No, I don't. What else have I done?
What have you been watching on TV?
I haven't even watched the latest episode of Boba Fett yet this week. I've been very busy.
Yeah,
man, I haven't watched any of them.
It was pretty fun. I liked I know a lot of people have not liked it because they don't think it's what they thought or what they were hoping Boba Fett would be. But I don't mind it. It's just his story. I mean, get over it.
People got some money. That's not what I expected. Well, all right, go make your own.
Right? Exactly.
Did they not take your little Twitter into account when making $1 billion program? No, I guess they didn't. Jesus Christ.
We're going to watch it, but we just haven't had the opportunity to do that yet.
No, I enjoy it. I think I like it.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty.
I don't
pretty
have
fun.
that. I don't have that hang up with Boba Fett. That he's the best thing in the whole universe. I don't know where that comes
Well,
from because he was
I think
barely
it's
featured in the
it's
first three films.
an age thing, dear boy.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because I mean,
Wait.
he was like one of my favorite little Star
But
Wars.
he didn't
toys.
even
Really?
feature
When I
really in the
played with the
first.
Star Wars figures, he was like, he was the badass because he had.
Wait, he was
Yeah,
one of
but-
your favorites, Roberta?
Yeah, I loved him. hmm
Wow.
Well, I mean, we had a million different Lukes, and we had a lot of multiples of the same character. But Boba Fett, there weren't that many, and so he was
Oh.
just the guy that would come, steal things.
Okay.
It was kind of funny.
Well, he was the one that the figure you had to like. You remember? I've got one somewhere. It doesn't have the. I think you remember it had the little rocket that would shoot out of his
Well,
back.
that's
but
what I'm saying. That was pretty cool.
that you had to
So
send off
he-
for him. So I've got one. I can
So
go
I
find
had to
it.
take more care of him and his little accessories. Where like I had like 10 Lukes, so I didn't care. And,
Yeah, Luke.
and so many Darth Vaders and.
Wait a minute. I
different
like
versions
Darth
of
Vader now.
everything.
Don't we got to be talking about bad about my buddy there?
Yeah. Anyway,
Your buddy.
I'm just saying that's why Boba Fett's a favorite. I think is just because he was just one of those special things to play with.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's a guess. And he's a great character in the story, but he's not very well developed. So there's a lot.
Yeah,
of
I say because for me, the first he doesn't really feature. He gets Han Solo and takes him to Jabba, and
that's it.
Doesn't do much. He then
Right.
gets thrown in the Sarlacc pit.
He was
it's just a neat story.
mysterious. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was kind of me. I never really thought much about it, as a character. Yeah, he looked cool, but
Well, that's enough.
That's true.
Not wrong.
That's enough for me.
What do you guys think about this layout here? I just discovered it.
Yes.
What do we got? Hold on, I gotta move.
Oh, we're at the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah. Let's see if I put a
Mhm.
comment up there. What does it do?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Every fan says, I wish they'd adapt Shadows of the Empire for Disney
Mhm.
Plus. I need to see Dash Rendar. Now, here's when I
That's
have
interesting.
to say I have no idea what he's talking about now.
Nor do I.
somebody
Is
tell me?
that one of the books, or is it the comic books? You remember once Disney took over, they kind of said that a lot of that stuff doesn't
They
exist.
stomped on all the books.
Yeah, they're like nope. None of this is canon anymore. Nope. Until they say it is, then
Star
it's.
Wars novel?
I don't know if it was a novel or a comic. I think it was a comic, or maybe they made it into a. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's probably a book, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that answer.
Sorry.
If that fails, give me a Salacious Crumb show.
That'd be fun.
hmm
They made some comics of his.
Is this another Star Wars character?
Yeah, he was Boba Fett's little buddy. Not Boba Fett. Boba Fett's buddy. No, it was the big slug guy. The Hutt. Jabba the Hutt. That little guy. You remember that guy? That was. Yeah, that
Looks
guy.
like a gremlin.
Yeah.
I guess am I revealing my my lack of knowledge of Star Wars here?
Yeah, you're fired.
Knowledge is disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing with the Force.
I watched
There
the
you go.
movies. I enjoyed them. I had the first Star Wars comics. Finally sold the one that had the Howard Chaykin cover. Did he do the interiors too? I can't remember. I think he did, didn't he? Yeah. Finally sold the first one that I had at the time. I sold it for $35, and that was a big deal to me. And I don't think I've had a Star Wars comic since then. I do have I do have a Star Wars novel in my bookshelf, but that's because it's written by somebody I don't know, John Jackson Miller. He used to work for CBG, the Comic Buyer's Guide, and he's from Memphis. And he's like a big Star Wars guy now. If you're a Star Wars fan, you should know his name because he's written a bunch of Star Wars novels and a bunch of Star Wars comics.
One of my this is saying something funny. When Empire Strikes Back came out, the comic book in the little town that I was in Louisiana, down in Port Sulphur towards New Orleans. I didn't know. I was spoiled that Darth Vader was Luke's father from the comic book. I was reading. I saw the comic book. Yep.
He's
And
what?
What?
He's what? Dang.
He's a stepdad.
Oh.
No.
Stepdad.
Yeah. No.
That makes it easy.
I saw. I picked up the comic and I was flipping through it and I'm like, no, I haven't seen the movie yet. The movie hadn't even come out yet. I don't know how they had the book. I think it came out. So I got spoiled for the movie. I'm like, oh, this sucks. Anyway, sorry, had to go there.
Yeah, Everfan said it was a comic book, novel, and video game, a multimedia story. So
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So you say Shadow of Empire. The first thing I think of is Asimov's Empire series.
Not quite right.
Yeah, I know.
Few galaxies over.
Yeah.
First star of the right, and take star of the morning, and take a right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I've been
So
watching? I don't know if you have it over there with David Tennant.
What's that?
Around the World in 80 Days, Phileas Fogg. Have you got it over there yet?
No.
Oh, it's
That
really
sounds
good.
good.
Yeah, it
It's
does
really
sound
good. Yeah.
Let me see.
It's like 8 episodes. We're on episode 6 here.
Huh.
7. Really good.
What, Around the World in 80 Days? Is that what you're saying?
Phileas Fogg.
Yeah, the old Disney movie, yeah.
Around the World in 80 Days.
Old H.G. Wells book, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
H.G. Wells or Jules Verne? I can't remember which one it was. H.G. Wells, maybe.
Say it again.
Was it Jules Verne or H.G. Wells? One of them.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Me too.
But yeah, no, it's David Tennant. He's wonderful. He's excellent. You must have that on BBC America or something.
You're right. Pete Jules Verne.
Oh, what's right? Oh,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Something
All
from
right, good for you.
2004 popped up.
So,
Dang.
Pete, have you seen The Crown?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of seasons of The Crown.
Okay.
I lost interest when it started getting to the period which I was familiar with. I was like, don't care.
So,
I
like,
see
to the
it
modern
every single
period. Yeah. You know what? I don't know what. Maybe you can explain this, Pete. I don't know what Americans. I don't know why Americans are so fascinated with The Crown.
I guess because you don't have a royal family, do you? You've never had a royal. Well, you had it. And
Yeah, we did. We had Prince.
We had it. We didn't.
We had it, and then we kicked them off.
Oh!
Don't go
Threw it
there.
all away. It was so good for a while.
So you think that might be why folks in the U.S. are so fascinated with it?
You love Downton Abbey as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so do I. I like it as well. It's good.
That was fun.
I think you're fascinated with culture and class.
Oh boy. I can't wait till you come visit. We're gonna take care of you.
Yeah, I was. And of course, your comment, like once I got to kind of the modern stuff, you didn't care. I've heard that kind of. I've heard that kind of before, and that was one of the things that kind of made me think. I was like, I wonder what is it that why are Americans so fascinated, but British folks, they don't care. Like, yeah, we don't care.
Well, it's obviously it's watched a great deal, and people do love it, and people love the royal family. Not quite at the moment, but yeah, I think the if you can't remember it or you didn't experience it, it's more interesting. Like so the early seasons, most people wouldn't have been familiar with that really.
Right.
And there's just I don't know if there's something. I'm trying to think of the word when it's a bit older and it's not rose tinted, but there's a fascination with how things were done in the olden days.
No, you're right.
And the class, it was much more class system based, and now it's not. Now the media intrudes on everything, so there's no there's no mystery, I suppose.
I find that I'm continually fascinated. Of course, we talked about this before, but I absolutely love history, and I came this close to being a history teacher instead of an English teacher. And
well, comments like more wider, I'm sure you made the right choice.
Yeah, but I'm always I'm always astounded how little attention England gets in World War II. I mean, there's some, but man, the Germans bombed the crap out of London, and and we don't hear about that. I mean, because there's so many other things that happened in that war, and I guess you can say there was terrible things that the Nazis did and all that kind of stuff, and so it distracts from it. But I don't read. So this is several years ago. I read something about the British in London in World War II, and it was like, holy crap!
Yeah, there's not much left of Europe, to be honest. Before the war,
right?
You go to Prague remarkably wasn't bombed during the war, so it is all still medieval. But everything else is 1940s onwards.
Yeah, and that it's kind of sad too. I think. Blame the Germans. Everfan says the royal family is a live-action soap opera. It's that simple.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm not too interested in the current, because the media.
Yeah, we have the Kardashians too. So there's. I don't understand that either. So.
I don't either.
I think it's the same people though.
That are interested in both.
The fascination.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. The Kardashians don't interest me in the least little bit.
I don't get it.
Each to their own.
You like the Kardashians, Pete?
No.
Yeah. Well, like you say, each their own. There's going to be entertainment for everybody, right?
Yeah. Floats your boat.
I like comics.
You like what?
I said I like comics more than that.
I like comics. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because saying that, obviously you guys see what my background is here. It's not unusual the first time my online class, because this is where I hold my online classes, and it's not unusual that they're all. Is that like a picture? Is that like real? Are those really yours?
Big background.
Right. A lot of them think, because it's so many things done like that, they don't think it's real, and so I have to reach over and pull out a box or something like that and show them, and I'm like, no, I'm teaching the comic class, but I
got a bunch.
I like them, right? I'm surrounded by them. So the spirits, as I'm writing, the spirits of them float out of the boxes into me, and make comics. What else does Pete say? We're 9:19 here. What's Pete say?
Oh. Not a lot really.
How's Mama doing?
Yeah,
I think she's getting to the uncomfortable period now.
And it's all your fault.
Yeah, well, half my fault.
Half. I was gonna say half. Man. Come on.
Yeah, she's fine. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much going on there. Baby does.
Yeah. Baby moving. You able to?
Yeah, just a little bit now. I'm starting to. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Great.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, that's so my kids hate for me to tell this story, but once BJ really kind of got out and and big there. I mean, they started kicking, early on, and you can feel it. But once they got to be a little bit bigger, of course, Pete, BJ, she's short. She's 4'11", so she's not a
4'11".
Yes, she's
The
short.
Hobbit.
Pretty close. I think I looked it up one time, and I think 4'10" is officially is he 4'10" or 4'9" is officially a midget. So so she is short, but the when the kids when they were babies, they would kind of kick her in the ribs. It'd be real uncomfortable. I would literally get down on the other side and talk to them, and they would shift around in her stomach and get off of her ribs, listening for my voice. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's so cool. It's very cool.
Kind of like aliens or something going on.
It's freaky.
Yeah. There are times when you can see like little feet rubbing right there. You're like,
oh
yeah. You're like, that's
no.
not often, but sometimes they'll stretch or something like that, and
you see a hand push in like that, and a little face is squished up against the side.
I can't remember. I mostly have his feet, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Oh my goodness.
Well, be sure you let Mama know we asked about her.
Oh, sure. I tell her that we talk about her.
Okay.
What do you say about me?
Yeah. Means he's not watching right now?
Oh, no. Afraid not.
So can y'all believe we're about to end? We're really close to the end of January in 2022 already.
It is flying by.
It's the fastest month ever.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Don't know why either. I don't know why that is. Pete, what's the paper situation looking like over in England?
Oh yeah, can you bring me some?
I'm not actually sure because I haven't had to buy paper for ages. I've been doing a lot of digital work just to try and get stuff done quick.
Yeah.
But I've got paper. Are you not having paper over there?
Oh, we are having a shortage, especially for bigger sheets for printing presses and stuff. We've been dealing with a lot of our bigger companies that we get paper from the biggest supplier here in Florida, and they just don't have any paper. I mean, you can get some paper for your 8.5 by 11 kind of thing for your your little home printer at the house kind of thing, but yeah, any big stuff, it's in gloss paper is almost impossible to. Yeah, it's been pretty bad, but hopefully in the next month or so, I mean, we are. Woo.
So our next Kickstarter is going to be for ashcan size comics.
That's right.
Because you can use the 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, just do the little. Yeah, we can. Well, we won't have any glossy paper, so it doesn't matter. Oh, golly, it's pretty bad. We've been going all over the place trying to find paper. My business partner Barry Gregory, a longtime buddy of Roland's, we've been. Every day, he's scouring the internet to try to find driving distance stuff. Actually, he's going to go over on Monday to a place over in Tampa, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from us. The raid a print shop over there that has a bunch of paper that they don't need, that stuff that they don't use.
Why is it so difficult to get paper? What's going on?
For what we understand, it's when COVID hit, all this packaging stuff started happening, and lots of the paper was all the pulp has been going towards packages, right? Like from Amazon and all that kind of stuff, and
it's their fault then.
Yeah, and then and I'm not going to mention a state that we've got where there's a bunch of boats sitting out there that's got a bunch of paper that they can't unload. I'm not going to say who it is, California, but there's a bunch of there's a bunch of paper on those boats that is just going bad because they can't get them unloaded. So yeah, it's just nuts.
That's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. You're correct.
Yeah,
That's
it
exactly
is.
it.
Yeah.
It'll work out. It'll work
Yeah.
out.
I think if we could get most of those boats unloaded, I think that would help tremendously. I don't know that it would. I don't know that it would solve the problem.
That would be a start.
Yes, it would be a start. Can you Roberta and Curtis, can you see the boats? I mean, do you ever go out to the
Yeah, y'all hanging out at the docks.
do you ever get close enough to,
I don't go down there. I don't
go
get out
down
of the house. But, yeah.
I
We
know
still have a lot of COVID around here, so.
Do you?
Yeah, do
Well, I know when we moved Brittany out, we went over to Malibu, so we were able to see the water. And actually, I stayed with somebody in Malibu a couple of nights when we were moving her out. So obviously, this was pre-COVID, pre all that. No, that's not true. It was at the very beginning.
Oh, that was yeah.
It was at the very beginning.
Because when y'all said you were going, I'm like, oh, that's not really good.
Yeah.
They were going to drive back across the United States, and I'm like, oh, that's even worse. Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, I was afraid of everything.
What's that?
Oh.
I was almost afraid of everything.
Yeah, that's when you couldn't even touch anything because you're going to get COVID just by touching something. It's like, oh well.
Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully we're on the incredible downslope of that, and we can get back to as normal as possible.
Yeah, it seems like you guys over there, Pete, is it looks like y'all are down from the Omicron thing. It's coming down, and y'all are opening up a bunch of, not opening up, but they're going to start telling people not to wear their mask and do all. Y'all looking like you're doing really good. We're a couple of weeks behind you guys. So
yeah, I'm not sure how accurate that is, or if it's just because our prime minister's an idiot and is in a lot of trouble with politically, and he's trying to just win people over by doing something stupid as usual.
Well, I think it's to the point where it's just like, we don't care anymore. Let's forget it. Let's just go about your business, get sick, get over it. Let's get a herd immunity going and be done with it.
Well,
it doesn't work.
They've said our NHS, our hospital workers, if they're not vaccinated, they're not allowed to work.
Yeah. A lot of states are doing that over here.
So we're going to find out how many. They're saying about 80,000 hospital workers are going to be out of a job or will not be able to return to work next Friday or this Friday.
Ooh.
So that could be another political disaster.
Yeah.
It could.
He's an idiot. I hate him.
Oh, they're going to come knocking at your door. Be quiet.
Yeah, really.
You're talking about the Queen and your
Queen.
I like the Queen. Don't get me wrong. I like the Queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, our governor has basically said, things like, if you've lost your job in another state, come to Florida, we'll hire you.
Oh God.
Yeah. Because obviously there's a need still. So, and if these folks are losing jobs in other states, that's what he said. Come to Florida, we'll hire you. So,
you don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I don't know what states. I know. I told Tommy the other day. I kind of stopped following all this because I'm just kind of tired of it. So I don't really know. I know that there are some states that are saying that if you're a health worker and you're not vaccinated, you can't work. But I can't remember what. It's probably California and New York. They're usually the ones that do things like this. But I don't know that to be the case. But anyway.
Yeah, we like to do that because we have a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of healthcare problems
Just go ahead.
when there's no beds left.
Yeah.
And no healthcare workers left.
Yeah. Yeah, which doesn't make any sense, right? You'd think that you need your healthcare workers, even if they're not vaccinated, because of you. I mean, this is a high demand for them. At this particular time, there's a high demand for health workers. So why would you get rid of the ones that are willing to work? Because they don't have a vaccination. So let them work. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if they can, I would think if they could prove that,
Well,
they're
they get
testing
tested.
clean,
Yeah,
that should be enough,
I would
honestly.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Next shows. What? Anybody going to any shows? Tommy, when's your next show? And by show, I mean a convention.
Yeah, we're supposed to do Pensacon. It's the February 18, 19, and 20 in Pensacola. That's always a fun show for us. So we've that's the only one I got lined up. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got lined up.
February 18, 19, and 20?
Yep. Yep.
That's something.
It's a great show. Love the show. It's really cool. What they do at this show, I think I've mentioned it several times, is they those of us that were our invited guests kind of thing compared to just the Artist Alley spot. What's neat is they've got there's a lot of celebrities, right? And so they have a green room for those guys. But they let us go in there and it's really cool because you go in there and you walk in and you go, that's Worf. Hey Worf, how's it going? And then you run out of the room because it's like, that was Worf. I gotta get out of here. It's just funny.
Jimmy Palmiotti posted about something like that a couple years ago, because it used to be that way. It used to be at conventions that the green room was for all of the invited guests, right?
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, it began to be media guests getting here. You comic guests, we don't care about you. You can't come in here, or they would have a separate one. And that's when Jimmy posted this big thing one time and said, hey, that's not right. We're invited guests should all, get the same treatment. And so what about you, Pete? Next convention for you?
Not till I think April. I might be going up to Scotland, maybe. Depends what the baby situation is now.
Right.
But I will certainly be early May in Portsmouth, just because my missus' family's from Portsmouth, so worst case she's going to go and stay with them whilst I go down the road and do the convention, and then I'm always just 10 minutes away. So it looks like that's it, and then nothing after that, I guess.
Wow.
For a couple of months.
See how things turn out, right? See how this COVID thing's going and see what opens up.
I'll try to do Daytona in September, and I want to do New York, but I can't afford it realistically.
Yeah.
And that's even if I get in. But then I'll do Thought Bubble again in November.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
makes it sound like a short year, but we're only in January.
Yeah, we are only in January, so there's still time to add shows. And your May is going to be pretty busy, I would think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So not planning too much after that at the moment.
Yeah. You don't want to go skip out on a weekend when your baby's 2 weeks old, because mama's not gonna like that very much.
No, exactly.
Lots can happen. Lots of scary things.
Yeah.
Just not knowing.
Yeah. So you need to be there.
Yeah.
What about Curtis? You got any comic conventions lined up?
Not anything necessarily. I'm just curious, what the climate's going to be, especially for Comic-Con. I knew some people that went to what they call special edition Comic-Con.
The one in Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
How'd that go over?
I heard it was very similar to WonderCon, which is out, usually out in
Oakland.
Yeah, which is I actually kind of like WonderCon because it's
I like WonderCon.
Yeah, it's like all the fun of Comic-Con, but a lot more mellow,
Yeah.
But I was just talking with the wife, and it's like, kind of I'm sure there's going to be a big change for what San Diego Comic-Con is from here on out. The things were already kind of changing, especially with the pop culture side of it, because I think a lot of studios weren't getting their money back in terms of all the hype that they were doing. So I think it was already changing, but I think it's gonna. I kind of was telling her, so, it's gonna be something that's it's a different era, of what Comic-Con is going forward, and so it's going to be interesting to see what that is. I'm kind of glad that we were there for the craziest peak version of Comic-Con, so we'll just have to kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see it because I didn't. I went like all through the '90s, and then it wasn't thanks to Barry and Tommy, thanks to Kablam. I got to go out there a couple of times during the craze, and I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened to this thing?
That is a crazy show. A crazy show, almost to the point where it's like, I don't want to go.
Right.
This is just
you got to kind of like have a montage scene, a training sequence before you go. You got to get in shape and get your immunity up. It's wild.
They're all right. And I kind of felt that way at times. It was like the floor was so crowded.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I want to go, but I don't want to go and fight that crowd. And
it's
so
intimidating
it's
to walk through.
And it's like I'd kind of like to go to the boom booth and see if I can see Ross or something like that, but it's like I don't really want to go and fight that crowd, so I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
Pete, when you were over here, did you ever make it over to Comic-Con in San Diego?
No chance. One, because tickets go within like 10 minutes.
Yes, they do.
It's just it's not a cheap place to be, is it?
Nope.
No.
So you have to find hotels.
And it's not easy to just shuffle on in unannounced.
No, it's not.
So no, I didn't do that. I would love to, just because it's an experience, I think.
Yes,
it is. You gotta,
I love comics to do, but
I think it is. It's certainly something that you should try to do at least once. Beyond that, I don't know if there's any. I don't. Of course, me and Tommy Barry talk about this quite a bit. I don't know if there's any real advantage to
go on.
Small
the
guy.
other pros I've spoken to say it's a film media thing, whereas New York's more comic-y, but even that's gone very media.
Hyper's got some more comments here. Sorry, Hyper, I swapped over so I could add Tommy to the scrolling list, and I didn't come back over here. He says most hospitals were already short-staffed before the pandemic. Yeah, I know that. When I taught English comp before coming down here, one of the things I would teach is a lot of nurses, and that's one of the things that they would say is that nurses can get hired almost anywhere, because the problem is that or at least this at the time, I don't know if this is still the case, but at the time what they were doing is that they would hire a nurse, and because they have a shortage, they would work them so much that they would burn out, and the nurse would say, I'm done, this is too much work, and they would quit. So they were in a perpetual state of needing new nurses. Anyone planning on InfinityCon in Tallahassee this June? Tommy, you rolling? I have, let me pull up my calendar. I have someplace I'm going in June, but where was that? Let's see here. January, whoops, wrong place. January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh, I'm going to do Three Rivers Comic-Con in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hyper, do you know where? Do you know when that Tallahassee show is? I have been trying to. If it's the one I think it is, I've been trying to get into that show for quite some time, and I may reach out to him again and see if maybe me and Tommy can run up to that show. I've never been to Tallahassee, and I'd like to go. Roberta, do you know who I think still lives in Tallahassee?
No, who?
Jennifer Schellinger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I
haven't swapped emails with her in goodness, probably 5 years. But at the time, she was earning her doctorate in marine biology there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I haven't kept up with her, unfortunately, so I do not know.
Yeah. Hyper says, Peter, if you want to come to the States, consider Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina, very focused on comics and art. That's a good show. Yeah, that is one of the
yes, I know that one.
that is one of the better shows in the South, I think. I'm not sure when that Tallahassee show is, but I have talked to that guy up there a couple of times, and would love to get up to Tallahassee. Just, you know, I mean, it's what, Tommy, a 4-hour drive from us? I mean, that's
yeah,
yeah.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
No, but it's a trek, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like a lot of these other shows that I can just get my car and be there that morning.
No, we had to plan for it and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, he says June 4th and 5th in Tallahassee. Yeah, I hate that because I'm going to be up in it'll be my first time ever in Pennsylvania, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I can say who arranged that, so I won't. But that was I was supposed to go in, I think it was 19, the year COVID hit, and then they canceled it, and then they didn't do one the next year, and then 21 they had an outside one, and I just told him, I said, I can't come and put up all this paper product in a parking lot. You know, I'm like, that just I've done those before, but and that doesn't.
It doesn't usually work.
No, it doesn't. Wind, you know, not to mention rain, but wind itself, you know, blows comics all over the place. So, yeah, outside ones are just are not real conducive, not real friendly to comic things. So this year they're supposed to be back in their location. So I'm excited to go to Three Rivers Comic Con, and that for me, those are my next two. I skipped Roberta, didn't I?
That's okay.
But since I'm talking about this one, I'm going to be doing Olo, which is Orlando, on February the 13th. It's a one-day show here in Orlando, so I'm looking forward to that. And then my next one is not until June the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, which is Three Rivers Comic Con in Pennsylvania. So Tallahassee is out for me this year, it looks like. Roberta, what about you? You plan on doing shows this year?
I guess I'll have to see how things do in terms of safety.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
I will let you know.
Have most of the please do, so we can put it on our little scrolling banner here.
Nothing at the moment.
Yeah. So I know, are most of the shows in California open again, even to?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, they were for a while.
I mean, there's some, and then they've gone back to shut.
Really?
Like they were.
Yeah.
So we'll find out, I guess. We'll keep our ears out.
Yeah. Well, I know MegaCon here changed dates last year.
Yes.
And when did they moved it to the fall, didn't they, Tommy?
When did for last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you went. I don't remember.
I did go, but I don't remember. I got the last minute invitation because so many people canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And literally, I got the invitation on Sunday night, and the show started on Thursday.
Wow.
But that's just, I'm listen, I'm not trying to pull anything over. I got the invitation because so many people canceled, and they know I'm local, so it's like, hey, you want to come? You want to come? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. So
they know you can just pick up and go.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot because it's easy for me because I don't have to make any arrangements out of town, all that kind of stuff, and it's not like a one that you've got to really plan for. Hyper says, have fun in Pennsylvania. Bring me back some autographs. Let me know who you want, and I'll see what I can do. I'm honestly not really sure who else is going to be there yet. And then he says, I guess it's up to Tommy, Barry, and Jenny to come to Tallahassee. Fingers crossed.
We need to, I guess, ask is what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he did mention that Martin's pals with the guy, and I met the guy. When did I meet him? Down at PalmCon. So, so anyway, well, all right. I guess we will call it a night for the night. Let me share the Kickstarter one more time. Looks like I think we got an additional backer here, or maybe something else. That number just looks a little bit different, so I wasn't paying that much attention. So we are at 32.65. So I think we did. I think we got another backer during our stream. So whoever you are, thank you very much for backing. We're still chasing those stretch goals. So check out the Kickstarter. Help get us there. Shout out, thank you to Daytona Beach Comic Con, our sponsor. We appreciate you very much. What else here? Curtis, where can folks find you on the interweb?
Sure. You can find me online. 2 different websites have all my socials on it. So for martial arts, you can go to tigercrane.net. And for my comic book, you can go to theshadowghost.com. Just make sure to put the at the front of it. So that's where you can find me.
Tommy, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Just go into the Googles and type in Thomas Florimonte, Florimonte. I always spell it because people think it's so hard to spell. So there, but go to infernostudios.com or just look for me on just wherever. I'm pretty much got a pop in from time to time. I get the messages that somebody contacts me. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook, but not so much the other stuff. But I do get messages where people ask me stuff there. So.
Excellent.
Yep.
Pete, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Just type Peter Clinton Art into the Google, and it will come up with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, website, TikTok.
The Tickety Talk.
Tickety Talk. Nice. And just contact me on Instagram there.
Excellent. And Roby, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Type in Roberta Conroy. You should be able to find me there. But yeah, that's probably the best place. So, yeah.
And you can find me on all the socials as Roland Man. Sometimes it's Man Roland, I think, which it is on Twitter. Just look for my caricature that looks just like me, my face. I think some of them don't have the glasses, but it looks just like me. Don't forget, we have a Tuesday night show. It's geared more towards the West Coasters. Starts at 11 p.m. East Coast time, but that is 8 o'clock for the Pacific folks. And then we got the Wednesday Wham group that will be here Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And then we will be back here next week with Curtis Says.
There you go.
We'll figure out what's on Curtis's mind next week. And don't forget to like, share. Let me find where did Hyper say that? Here we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and let everybody know all about it. Hold on, I gotta get the other thing ready here. Where's the closing? Okay. And until next time, remember to make mine Silverline. All right. Good night, everybody.
My name is Ross Ritchie from Boom Studios, and make mine Silverline.